Good morning. Appreciate you all taking the time to listen to me. They asked me this morning to discuss with you guys growing your business through prospecting. So what comes to mind? We've all heard it. I know when I first heard that word, I knew I was supposed to do it. I just didn't know exactly what. I think it gets to be made something that's very complicated, but it really isn't. For me, it's about finding your ideal client, who you want to work with, someone that you can relate to, someone that you can speak to comfortably. Learn their needs, learn what drives them, what they worry about. It can really be anyone. Obviously, doctors, lawyers, CPA alliances, are all great places to target, but for me personally, that's not always who I can speak with comfortably. My ideal client is farmers. I can relate to them. We have similar past experiences. They've got tremendous needs, obviously, that we can help using the products that we've got to offer. When I'm talking to these guys, we can have conversations for extended periods of time about other things other than just insurance and, what I'm trying to promote to them. Conversation carries several different directions because I am comfortable speaking to these individuals. Something else that's a pretty good part is they're used to writing big checks. That's something that I took from MDRT in Orlando, that was really huge. A gentleman said, meet with these folks where they're used to writing these large checks. Obviously, we're in families' homes each and every day. That's a very important need that we satisfy, but their viewpoint in that setting is totally different than where you may meet them in the morning at their workplace. They could be a president of a company or a CEO or what have you, but when you're meeting them in that business environment, they are used to writing larger checks. They've got larger needs. They've got a different train of thinking there. Something very valuable I took from that experience. Why do I need to do it? Prospecting is the foundation in minimizing that downtime that comes in our business. I'm sure we all experience that. I hope I'm not the only one that has ran into that, but it fills in the gaps. We have to still take care of our families and the folks that are on our agencies. That's super important. But to have one of these, that you can focus on, one or two at a time, just to constantly have it moving. Those transition sometimes very slow. It takes multiple visits. But if you can fit that in with your normal day-to-day routine in your business, I find that, I'm not finding that downtime that I used to run into. Prospecting for who you actually want to talk to increases case size. You've got more confidence. You know these folks. You've studied them. You know what their needs are. Makes work feel like fun. It puts you in the atmosphere that you enjoy being in. How do I do it successfully? Same as everyone here. You've got to be referable. And in my opinion, prospecting kind of takes care of itself. Obviously, to be referable, you've got to be dependable. You've got to be trustworthy. You've got to follow through with what you say you're going to do. When you're doing that the right way, these folks, you don't have to ask. They're going to pull their phone out. Just leaning back on who I'm comfortable with, these farmers, they all know each other. They all network daily. They look up to each other in the communities when they're trying to figure out how to solve their problems. And if you can be that person that's solving this individual's problem and they know that you've truly helped them, they're going to give you numbers. They're going to give you names. They're going to make the connections for you and make those introductions. So again, when you truly help them, they will multiply. Very important to believe in your product and the solutions that it provides. Take the time to, do your due diligence in studying your products and know the needs that it satisfies. The long-term care riders, the living benefits, and just be versed in that when you go to speak with these individuals. Obviously, if you believe in it, that's going to convey to them. So decide, who you want to work with. Focus on them, study them. Find who you enjoy talking to, and everything else will be super comfortable from that point. Again, know their needs, know your solutions, and then you've got to approach them. You've got to ask these individuals, how are you addressing these needs without me? they're always going to have some sort of ideas, obviously, but it's going to leave them kind of curious as to what you can do to satisfy those needs. Super important to qualify and attend the MDRT meeting. Really took a lot of powerful stuff from those meetings. One thing in particular, Guy Baker, an MDRT 40-year qualifier at top of the table level, which is 6 times the standard qualification in commission. He asks one simple question to his clients, or an introduction. When he's first meeting an individual, he asks them, would you have an objection to discussing your financial plan with me? And obviously it's worked well for him. And since I've came back from that meeting, I've tried to put that into my practice, and I've noticed that no one says no. They're not going to say, well, no, I'd really rather not. They like to know what you got to say. They're going to give you an opportunity. You may have to follow up to get that appointment, but just be consistent, and at some point they're going to talk to you. Results, this approach has changed my practice completely. It's qualified me for MDRT for the first time there in 2016. Obviously, the larger the problem is, the larger the needs are, is always going to equal larger case size. So again, continue staying with what we do day in and day out, helping the families, and everyone that we touch, but just try to focus on, who you want to work with. Have 1 or 2 of those working in the background, just constantly keeping in touch, and just one of those cases per quarter can make tremendous impacts on our bottom line and get us to beautiful places like this. So I challenge each of you to just be intentional each day about prospecting, find who you want to work with, help them, and watch your business grow. Thank you.